Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, it is about, I'm trying to figure it out. I just looked at the clock. It's about 20 till 4 on Wednesday. I just made an iced coffee, and I've gotten several comments on this channel, and people are like, Peter, do a video showing how you make your iced coffee. I did. I did that video over on my Peter Does Stuff channel, so that's over there if you want to see how that is. But I just put stevia in here, and then oat milk, and then I top it off. I think this cup might have a leak in it. I actually got a paper towel because it was like leaking on the table. I hope not, because I just got these. And then I put either Starbucks coffee. I got medium roast and blonde roast. Blonde roast is my favorite, but this is medium roast. And then the Calabria coffee, or Calabria, I use one or the other. And that's just my oat milk iced coffee that I make. So let me pull you guys in a little bit. How are you doing today? I am trying to get a bunch of stuff done. Got up today. So I went to bed last night, you guys, so early. Well, early for me. Went to my meeting last night, talk about that in a second. Got home, and Alex and I watched... Oh no, he had watched part of The Real Housewives of Dubai already, so I watched it and finished it. I'm not really into it, you guys. Like, I'm not real interested in any of the wives. The drama seems contrived to me, and I don't know. That might change over the course of the season. I'm going to keep on watching it, obviously, because like the Housewives are the shows that Alex and I watch together. So, and I enjoy that, you know. Back in the day, I was like, it's so loud. I went through this period where I was like, I don't like watching them because they're loud and toxic. But now Alex and I watch them together, and he lays on the couch and I'm in the chair, and we'll kind of like joke and laugh about things that are going on and whatever. So it's kind of our shows to watch, as well as RuPaul's Drag Race. So I watched that, and then I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired, and I'm trying to get back. He's trying to get back to his normal sleep pattern because he's been staying up till like 1 or 2, like watching TikToks and stuff. So this is Alex's favorite thing to watch on TikToks, okay? Friends, and I don't know what and Seinfeld, like clips of shows. But, like, he'll watch an entire show of Friends on TikToks. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you guys do this at all? Because, like, he'll just sit there and it's just, like, clip after clip after clip after clip after... He loves the show Friends. He loves it. Which I've never really watched Friends. I dated this guy when I got out of treatment. And I remember when he would visit me, it must have been, like... Because he was from Illinois. It must have been the night that Friends came out, because before we could do anything, he'd be like, well, we have to watch Friends. I'm like, okay. Oh, somebody sent me this glass blue straw, and I love it. You just have to be very careful about washing it. I think it was 2 that came together, because I have a little glass case, and it has like glass beads on the outside of one of them. So, he's been staying up super late, and I've been staying up super late watching shows, and I'm kind of caught up on all my shows until Thursday. Shining Girls ended last week. All I have this week is I have the season finale of Legendary. It comes out on Thursday. The season finale, or the series finale of The Staircase. It comes out on Thursday. Caroline started watching some new show. I think it's called The Serpent or something like that. So, she said she likes it so far. I have RuPaul's Drag Race. That's once a week it's out. And The Real Housewives. And 3 episodes of Night Sky. That I just haven't been watching a lot of TV the last couple nights. So, last night I was in bed at 11. I was going to watch the last 3 episodes of Night Sky last night because I wasn't even sure. This is so funny. I wasn't even sure I was going to film videos today. Alex's friend Sarah and I, we're trying to walk like 2 to 3 times a week. She lives real close to us. So we were supposed to walk at noon today. So I was going to watch some shows, go to bed about 2 or 3, get up at like 10 or 11, get my stuff done, and Boo Radley and all that's, taking him out, take my medicine, all that kind of stuff, you know. Clean the kitchen, whatever. And then be ready to walk with her because I thought we might go out to eat or something like that. Well, she ended up having something she had to do, and then it ended up pouring rain like a half an hour anyway later, so it would there's no way we could have walked. So we're gonna walk. I think on Friday we're gonna try to walk. So anyway, so I was just like, well, I guess I'll make some videos. So I made the bed. It's so funny, like now Alex comes home, he's like, look at the bed, it's so nice. And he loves the white bedding with the little blanket on the end of it and everything. It is super comfortable. So I was in bed last night at 11 o'clock. Like when I looked at the clock, because I have a clock that's like across the room, when I set my alarm for 12:30, because I was going to get up at 12:30 a.m. and I was going to watch like a show or two, and then I was going to go back to bed. I know it sounds crazy, but it's my life. So anyway, when I went to bed, I looked at the clock and it was 11:01, and Alex, like, he turned off the lights and he was like, Alexa, play thunderstorm sounds on repeat, because that's what we play, like, with the fan, and then we have the thunderstorm sounds. So I said, are you going to bed already? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to get, like, my sleep schedule in order again. So we went to bed at 11. I woke up at like 2:30. I turned off my alarm, or 12:30. I turned off my alarm when it went off. I think I got up when it went off. And then I woke up like at 1:30 a.m. and like at 2:30 a.m. And then I was just like, and each time I woke up, I was like, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to have a little bit of a crumble cookie, some ice water, and I'm going to watch a show. And then by like 2:30, I was like, I'm just going to sleep for the night. Like, this is stupid that you keep on telling yourself you're going to get up and get a crumble cookie and watch a show. So I just went to bed for the night, and I don't know what time I got up, but I slept like 12 hours. 12 hours. I feel rested today. I don't know, maybe I needed it. So last night my friend picked me up. I didn't get my vlog up in time before I left. I was actually uploading it. I'm using this battery, this new battery, and this is like, I filmed a drama video, I filmed a review video, and I filmed a Peterisms video, and it says it's full. It'll probably show that it's at the halfway mark in a second. I actually brought a battery out here with me because in case I needed to change it. And like I can't vlog a long time again today because I have to start getting ready and take a shower and stuff. I might take a shower when I get home. But before I have to go to, we're going to our marriage counseling tonight. And since Alex works real close to where it's at, I am going to take an Uber over there. I'm nervous about it. I don't know why I'm so nervous about taking an Uber. I know once I do it once, I'll be completely fine, you know? It's just like silliness, but I'll be fine. The neighbor's getting his mail across the street. So my friend picked me up for the meeting, and then we went and got Tanya, and then we went to our meeting last night. It was full. Like, our meeting was like really full last night. And we split up into groups, and we were the first group done because the three of us sat in one group. And so we ended up, we stood outside for like 5 or 10 minutes, but then it was like the other groups weren't breaking up yet, and it was still like 10 till 9. And so we left. And so we got home real early, and my friend wanted to get home and watch she was watching the end of Stranger Things, so she wanted to do that. So we got home earlier than I usually get on Tuesday nights. I feel like there's like, that stevia stuff is like on the end of the straw or something. It's like coating the end of the straw. I don't know. Anyway. It's still good. What else? So yeah, I got up today and just did some cleaning up around the house, and then I made the bed and did all that kind of stuff. And then I've been trying to wear like different shirts and stuff for videos, so I don't know if I've ever worn this shirt in a video before or not. It's that brand from Target, that Goodfellas brand. I love that brand of t-shirt. I think because I know that like I can go in there and like I know what size to buy. If I want it a little tighter, I get it in XL, and if I want it like, well, I've lost so much weight now that the 2XLs don't really, they fit me so baggy that they're just like comfort t-shirts now. Although I bought a 2XL the other day because the XL looked like really narrow, and I asked my cousin Caroline, she's like, no, I would go with the 2XL. But then I got it home and I tried on the 2XL and it's like super baggy. I should have just tried it on while I was there, but he must have got something in his mailbox that was for the neighbor because he walked it down the street and put it like on their doorstep. Isn't that so nice? That's how neighborly it is around here. Somebody asked me to look at my hair. My hair's so short, isn't it? Somebody, first of all, I was reading the comments. I don't have the phone in front of me right now because I'm uploading a video on it. But somebody asked me, they said something about, like, I thought I talked about this on here, but like it's interesting to me, like, when I explain things and then people comment on the video and they'll ask the question and I'm like, well, I explained that in the video. Like, somebody asked the other day, and maybe it's just they haven't got to that part of the video or they didn't watch the whole video or whatever, but they said, Peter, tell us if there's any eggs in the nest yet. And literally in that video, I had said, I don't know how to take a picture of the nest without upsetting the birds, so I don't know if there's any eggs in the nest. But then somebody asked me, they said something about, because Alex and I went and got our haircut on Sunday, and they said most hairstylists don't work on Sundays. Most hairstylists in the United States don't work on Sundays and Mondays, typically. Our hairstylist had been sick the week before, and so she was trying to fit in clients, and so she worked that Sunday just to fit in the people that she had to cancel. But anyway, somebody asked me they wanted me to wear my new hat. It's like this really soft material. It's like felt, and it's a chinchilla, I guess, and it says Softy on it. I got this from Warren Brothers. I think the reason I haven't worn it a whole lot is because I don't feel like it fits my head really well yet. That's gonna be my thumbnail. But I gotta get used to wearing it. She doesn't seem kind of square on top or something. I don't know. And the other thing is, I don't know if it's because I've lost weight, but like a lot of these hats don't fit my head the way that they used to. Do you hear the little bird up there? She's so sweet, isn't she? My neighbor just came out. She's checking her flowers. How they looking?
Oh, they're looking good.
Her walkway is beautiful. I do think there's eggs up there, and the little birds just fly in and out all day long. It's so cute. I might just throw on some shorts with this shirt and call it a day, and that might be with this hat. Do you think I should wear this hat and call it a day? It's not like I have to dress up for my marriage counseling appointment or anything. She's getting her meal. Oh, there's the dad bird. They can't still be making the nest. So yeah, that was my night last night, and then today I ended up making, here I go again counting, drama, review, Peterisms, and my vlog. So I made 4 videos. And I wanted to film a Peter Does Stuff video. I make these little sandwiches out of those King's Hawaiian bread, or out of that King's Hawaiian bread. And I wanted to film a little video making little sandwiches. So many people commented on me talking about me and Boo Radley making sleeping bags for the little birds that I'm gonna protect in the blizzard. And somebody was like, when I said something about making popcorn, of course it has to be a little popcorn for the birds. Somebody thought that was so funny, and I'm like, but that's just kind of how my mind thinks, you know, that there'll be all these birds and they'll have names and they'll come and hang out with us and stuff like that. And little Boo Radley will be in charge of, like, it'll be like a bird camp, you know, in front of the fireplace. And they'll have little plates they eat off of, you know, and things like that. We'll put little bird potatoes down there and all that kind of stuff. By the way, I found this new channel. I don't know what it's called. I'll let you guys know. And it is this husband and wife. I've only watched, like, I need to go in and figure out this channel because they're loud today. I think it's kind of like this prairie settlement that we have here, but it's like, I think they have the house built like on their land, and they go in and is she talking to me? Are you talking to me? The wife goes in, and it's like, the description on the video is like, follow, I can't remember their names. I think it's Justine and something Mark, through living their life in 1820s Missouri. If you live in maybe. If you live in Missouri, maybe you call it Missouri. And they, like, the videos are like authentic 1820s cornbread, how it was back then. And it's like her making cornbread. And the suggested video that came up for me was like a real authentic meal in 1820s Missouri. And it was like her putting this, did I talk about this already over here? Her putting these like potatoes. She is very talkative today, isn't she? I wonder if I can see her up there. Let's see if we can see her up there. Hello, Mrs. Birdie. Ooh. I don't think she liked that. Well, she was up there. But she'll come back, trust me. She comes in and out, in and out, in and out, literally all day long. Oh, the battery just went to the halfway mark. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, it's like, she has these like peeled potatoes, and they're like in this cast iron like thing that she like hangs over the stove, and then she's making like this meal of like what would be like a little, it's like a Little House on the Prairie. And I'm like so taken with this channel. Like, these are the kind of channels that I love. So it's like super thought-provoking, but at the same time very like simple and innocent. That's what I like about it. It's gonna take me a while to get used to this hat. I'm gonna have to wear it for a while. I bought all these summer hats and I still haven't really been wearing them a lot. And now here it is, the summer. Somebody else commented and they said, you know, like, I start talking and I have a thought on here, but then like I never finish it, right? And they said, I think they were in Texas, and they said it's funny that Peter thinks that 85 degrees is hot, right? Like hot in summer. No. I didn't finish my thought, but you're absolutely right. And they said 85 degrees is like morning for us or something like this. And okay, so I totally know what you're saying, but like, I didn't get to my thought because I started talking about my aunt and going to the farm and stuff like that. When I was growing up in Indiana in the summer, and I know this is still not hot like in Texas and Arizona and stuff like that, but like in August, we would get to like the hundreds. Like, we would get to like, I mean, it would be like 100. I don't know that it would get to 110, but it would be like 102, 100. It'd be like hot, you know? And in Indiana, there's so much humidity. And so it just makes it even hotter, you know, because it just is like you're sweating buckets and stuff like that. So it feels super, super hot. We haven't had summers like that the last couple years. It's been really cool the last couple years. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I just don't, I don't know if it's, you know, the whole, what do you call it, global warming or whatever's happening and the weather's changing everywhere, but it kind of makes me sad because, well, the thing is, one of the reasons why I've always loved Indiana is because of changing of the seasons. Because, you know, winter was so frigid cold here when I was growing up that then, you know, in April, you'd have those first couple days, and it would still sometimes snow in April or even sometimes in the beginning of May. But you would have those first days of spring where it would literally, like, everything would melt and it would be warm, and you'd see, like, you know, the irises, like, you know, peeping up from the ground and stuff like that, and you get real excited, and you could wear shorts for like a day or whatever, you know what I mean? And then it would be like spring was beautiful in Indianapolis or Indiana. It was, you know, lots of flowers, and the trees would bloom and everything like that. And then summer, by like the middle of June, was hot. I mean, from like the middle of June to like the early September, and even into like end of September or early October, it was hot. And like, it wasn't always 100, but it would be like 85, 90. I would say the majority of like the middle of June to like the middle of August. I mean, there was never a day. Like, I mean, today it would be cold to like go to the pool, you know? I mean, it's probably upper 70s today. It would be cold to go to the pool, unless the pool was like super like heated. That was never the case when I was growing up as a kid. I mean, even you could have gone to the pool if it was ice cold. Like the city pool, we used to go to the city pool a lot. And, you know, you would bounce in the city pool because it would be so cold, you know what I mean? And it'd have those lines in it. And I loved the city pool when I was growing up as a kid. It was like $2 to get in, and then you could, like, you know, your mom would give you $5 or $10, and you could. We used to go to the Y also. We had a membership of the Y MCA, which tons of kids went to. There's, like, it's close to our house. It's like 10 minutes from here. And if you live in Indianapolis, it's the Jordan Y, and they have a beautiful pool. And they had, you know, concession stands and stuff like that. And we would go there as a kid, you know, and you could just go the whole summer. And they also had an inside pool. And I remember my dad, I think, we used to tell stories of this, but I kind of have like vague memories of it as well. My dad would put my arms around his neck, and he would dive under the water. And that's how I like learned to breathe under the water when I was a kid. I was like a fish. Like, I would never get out of the water. Like, in the summer, I loved to get into the water, you know, and I would just be in there all day long. So anyway, we would go to the city pool, and you would just like bounce and be cold, and then like you would lay out, and you wouldn't, I mean, the city pool doesn't have lounge chairs and stuff, so you would put your, and to this day, they still don't, because I've been the last couple years, you would put your towels, your beach towels, down on like the hot cement, and the cement would be hot, right? Like boiling hot. So, you know, and then you and your friends would go, and or whoever you were with, you would get go to the concession stands and all that kind of stuff. I loved the concession stand as a kid. I love the concession stand as an adult as well. But you would get like frozen Snicker bars and frozen like Milky Ways and stuff like that because it was so hot. My mom loved those too. My mom, through her entire adulthood, I was like looking at the battery. She would put up, or she would, every once in a while, she would buy like Snicker. Well, now candy bars are so expensive. My mom, she would, I mean, she just would be over it today of the cost of everything because my mom was such a penny pincher. But like candy bars, like when I was growing up, were like a quarter, you know? But every once in a while, as I got older, you know, they'd be like $4 for $1 or something, you know. Well, I guess that's a quarter. But, you know, every once in a while they would be on sale. They wouldn't be like $1. They'd be like $4 for $1 at a gas station or something. My mom would buy 4 of them, and she would put them in the freezer because she loved a frozen Snicker bar. Like, that was like her favorite thing. A frozen Snicker bar, a frozen Three Musketeer. That was well, she liked the Three Musketeers more than she liked the Snicker bars. And a frozen Milky Way. Like, those were her favorite things of life. And so she would freeze them. And they weren't for guests, okay? They weren't for Peter when he came over. Those were for my mom, you know? And so she loved that. But I just remember summers being so hot, you know? It just was like unbelievably hot in the summer. To the point that even when you were sitting outside as kids in the evening, because we would like go eat dinner and then we would come back out and play until like 8 or 9, and then our parents would call us inside for baths or put on our pajamas or whatever. And I can remember like we did all the kid stuff. Caught lightning bugs, played ghosts in the graveyard, you know, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Do you remember all that? We always played like spooky stuff at night. And told ghost stories, sat in the yard and told ghost stories. I can remember we just like sit in the yard like in a circle, like 3 or 4 of us, and told like ghost stories and stuff, or like walked. It was fun, you know. We walked down the street, but it would be so hot, like our clothes would be sticking to us hot, you know. And I can remember like my mom would always have me come in and take like a bath or a shower before I went to bed. And so I can remember I always had those shorty pajamas. You guys, I got online the other day, I got on Amazon, and I looked for shorty pajamas that have like the waffle. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the old school ones that have the like the big buttons, like, and then it's like waffle material and it's cotton. They don't have them. I can't find them. But anyway, I'm gonna look again. But I would, you know, take a shower, I would take a bath, and then I would like put baby powder everywhere. I don't know why we did that when I was growing up. I think it was supposed to be kind of like, you know, to deodorize you or whatever, keep you good, smelling good while you're sweating at night while you're asleep. But I put baby powder everywhere, and then I would put on my shorty pajamas, and then I would get in bed and I would read, you know. And I can remember my mom, or I would like sleep on the end of my mom's bed while she was watching. I actually talked about this in the eulogy that I gave. My mom would watch some movie, you know, the 9 o'clock movie or whatever. Well, I would fall asleep during the middle of it, and she'd watch The Way We Were or something like that. And I would fall asleep, and I would wake up just as it was ending, and she would say, okay, you got to go to bed. And then she would watch the nightly news. And my mom always, like, my mom was a smoker her entire life, but she was never a huge smoker ever. Like, she just was never like a big time smoker. She would like save smoking for certain things. And like if her friends came over, like when I was growing up, she'd sit on the front porch and like drink a beer and smoke a cigarette or 5, you know, with them or whatever. But typically, this is when a lot of people smoked in their houses back in the day. She would save a cigarette, and she did this her entire, like when I was like older in my, you know, 30s and stuff like that, she would save her cigarettes for like, she would smoke like 2 cigarettes a day. One during the evening movie, and she would save it to like the last 5 or 10 minutes of the 9 to 11 movie that would be on, you know, most TV stations. And then she would smoke one during the local news from 11 to 11:30. And those are the 2 cigarettes that she smoked every day. My mom, I would say like the last 2 years of her life, she would drive to anywhere that she could buy like the cheapest cigarettes. She smoked Mavericks a lot. And she would, like, I'd be like, Mom, why are you driving all the way out of your way just to smoke the cheapest cigarettes? And she's like, because I'm not going to spend that money if I'm going to smoke. And then she started writing down the date that she would buy the pack. So when she passed away, and she kept them in this drawer that I have, like, and it's like goes like with this bar and stuff like that. And I have like decks of playing cards and stuff in there now. But when she passed away, I found this pack of cigarettes. She didn't even keep her pack in her purse or anything like that. She kept it in this drawer, and she would write on there when the date that she bought the cigarettes, because she liked to know like how long she could keep a cigarette pack. And she was like keeping a cigarette pack like longer than 2 weeks. She was not a big smoker. And I think it's interesting to me, you know, like smoking had absolutely nothing to do with her health at the end or what happened. And I think because my mom's dad died of lung cancer, she was always terrified of that. And so I think that was a really big reason. I don't know. She just was always like that was one of her wishes all her life, was to give it up for good. She was like, I just wish I could give it up for good. And my mom limited herself so much. Like, I wonder what her attitude would be if she knew that she was going to die of like an I mean, obviously we don't know those things, right? But like, if she knew she was going to die of an autoimmune disease that was totally unrelated to anything that she had done. I mean, as far as we know, that was completely unrelated. It was out of the blue that she got this thing, right? And but like, she tried so hard. I sit here, I talk about Snicker bars and the ice cream. She would eat a gallon of ice cream, all that stuff. And that's all true, right? But the majority of the time, my mom like ate really healthy. Like she would watch like Dr. Oz, and she'd be like, Dr. Oz says you're supposed to eat these fruits and vegetables, and you're only supposed to eat when you're hungry, not supposed to you're supposed to eat to live, not live to eat. And she would say that, and you know, she had like all this stuff all these things that she was trying to do all this. It stopped, and I go, wait, even though it had already stopped. Oh, the battery's about, hold on a second. Okay, the battery, well, it got to the 30-minute mark, and then I started it again, and it died, so I don't know if I'll include that or not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But anyway, I was getting ready to say something about my mom, like with walking. You know, she walked every day, and she did that for her health. I don't think it was necessarily because she loved walking, you know, and she did all of these things to try to, you know, really improve her health. And but I will say this, I don't think that my mom, like, even knowing how she was going to pass away, I don't think that would have changed what she did. Because the reason that my mom got sober, so for those of you who maybe are new and don't know, my sobriety date is December 17th of 1994. My mom's sobriety date is June 2nd of 1995. So she got sober almost 6 months to the date of my sobriety birthday. And you know, she would say at that time, and her sobriety, getting sober, had nothing to do with me getting sober. I wish it did. Well, I don't know that it really matters. I really don't know that I think it matters in retrospect, but my uncle Dave had his first heart attack and had to have quadruple bypass surgery. And that was really what affected it, because my mom said that whether she lived 1 more year or 10 more, 20 more years, she wanted to improve the quality of her life. And the reality was that her being depressed, drinking being a symptom of everything else that was going on, because she really truly believed that she was, you know, medicating herself by drinking, but it was like this vicious cycle for her, you know, that she would be depressed and she would drink, and that would make the depression worse. And she didn't feel motivated, she didn't feel inspired on a regular basis, so it just was kind of like feeding each other. You know, she was like, I want to improve the quality of my life. I want to be happier. I want to have hope. I want to be inspired. I want to be motivated. And I want to feel physically better, because she didn't feel physically good drinking on a regular basis like that. That is what motivated and inspired her to get sober. I mean, among other specific things, but that was the majority of it, right? And so when my mom got sober, she was 51 years old. This is why I tell people, if you have parents that drink, or, you know, grandparents, whatever, don't ever give up hope. My mom got sober at 51. I have a lot of friends of mine that have gotten sober in their 60s and 70s. So don't ever give up hope, right? My mom, and this is why, like, turning 50 this year, I don't have huge issues with it. First of all, I can remember when my dad turned 55 and somebody put like all these, it was 55 or, well, I think it was 55 because of what he said, because he kept on calling it double nickels, baby. He was like, double nickels, baby, I'm double nickels. But anyway, somebody put all those pink flamingos. You can hire like a service, and they put like 55 pink flamingos in his yard. But both of my parents loved their 50s so much. Like, my dad traveled the most during his 50s. You know, he, he had so much fun in his 50s, and he was, you know, semi-retired at that point and did whatever he wanted to do. He just loved his life. And my mom was the same way, and I really saw like an emotional and mental health just change in her, you know. And I think part of it was her sobriety, and I think part of it was her not giving an F anymore, you know. Not enough, an F, about what people thought. And there's so much that goes along with that, but she just didn't care anymore. You know, she's like, I'm 50 and in my 50s, and I'm going to live my life the way that I want to live it. And if you don't like that, well, that's your issue, not mine. And I think she physically felt really good. The other thing was, you know, my mom there's like bugs around me. I'm sorry, I'm like swatting at them. My mom had all these issues with her body image her entire life. She was really, really short. She was 5 foot. And she had huge breasts. And she, hey, how are you? Good. That's our landscaping lady. So anyway, now that I do my landscaping, she loves me. But before, it was a problem. Anyway, you know, when my mom was in high school, she was really big-breasted. I think she was like 13 or 14. She was like in junior high. I've told this story on here before, but my mom's stepdad found guys looking in her bedroom window, and so he called the police. He went out with a shotgun and like called the police, and when the police came, you know, they like basically just were like to the boys, and to my mom, the police asked my mom, like, do you wear tight sweaters to school to entice the boys? And that mentality stuck with my mom her entire life, right? That she did something to make men look at her, and that there was something wrong with that, right? And, you know, it's interesting because my mom was somebody that, like, I wouldn't say she was prudish at all. Like, she could have conversations about erotic stuff and whatever, but she definitely was somebody that, like, covered her body and all that kind of stuff. And, like, I remember she, by accident, got HBO one time, which she ended up calling her cable company and telling them that she got HBO and she shouldn't have it. But she had Real Sex on there, and you remember that TV show back in the day? And it was like the Academy, it was like, I don't know, some porn awards or something, and my mom was like watching this like coverage of these porn awards, and she was telling us about it at dinner or whatever. It was like Thanksgiving or something. She's like, and this woman, she like won the Academy Award for Best Orgasm. Can you even imagine that? So my mom, like, all her life always kind of like that. But I think in 2022, my mom it would be very interesting to hear her, like, what she feels about things like OnlyFans and things like that, because she also felt that this kind of confined mentality that men put on women and their bodies, like, she lived with that her whole life, that women were supposed to look a certain way, they were supposed to cover up, they were supposed to, you know. And it wasn't until she got in her 50s that my mom started wearing V-neck t-shirts. I mean, think about this, okay? Because, and that was 1995, because she was so afraid of men looking at her cleavage. And at that point, she was like, if they want to look at my cleavage, they can look at my cleavage. I don't really care. You know, and she would say things like, okay, I had to stop it because I was telling this story and I was like, I said it in a way that I probably shouldn't say it. So, but, you know, like, my mom would get to the point where she would say things like, you know, it's this fantasy world that so many people, that men live in, you know. And she's like, I'll be at a meeting and she's like, you know, men are looking at my cleavage, and I'm like, look if you want, because it's not what you think anyway. She's like, you know, I get home and I get into bed with no bra on in my nightgown, and I'm just so comfortable not to have this bra on, you know. And she's like, one boob goes to the left and the other one goes to the right. It's not this fantasy world that men think it is, you know. And she's like, it's just such ridiculousness. And she's like, and I allowed myself to live by that all of these years, you know. All of these years I lived by this societal rule that, you know, I can't be comfortable in a jogging bra. My mom, towards the end of her life, she would wear jogging bras a lot because they were more comfortable for her than like a traditional bra. So she would wear, I've told this story on here about how she saw on Oprah that she wanted a breast reduction her entire life. Like, that was her dream her entire life. And she'd say, I can't believe I was married to a plastic surgeon and I never, you know, like, he didn't refer me to one of his friends, you know, for a breast reduction. That was like her dream her entire life because it was so painful for her to have the big breasts. And in fact, she thought she was a triple D most of her life. She would not, I just want you to know, she would not care that I shared this either, because she would say, for all the women out there, go get sized appropriately and get bras that fit. Because she finally went to either, I think, Nordstrom or Saks, but I think it was Nordstrom, based on this Oprah that she had seen, where they said, if you get a bra that is your right size, it will lift up your breasts and make your back feel better, and then, like, it will, like, you'll feel better, right? And so she went, and I'll never forget her calling me. She was so humiliated and embarrassed, and she said, I have thought I was a triple D all of these years. And she's like, I wondered why my bra, like, cut into my shoulders and cut into my back, and it was so painful. And she was like, I found out I was a J. She was like, you know, I don't know why I didn't really realize you grow over time. She's like, but I'm a J. And she's like, I didn't even know they made J's. So she went to like Victoria's Secret or Nordstrom or somewhere, and she ordered like 2 bras, and I can remember they were like super expensive. She was like, they're so expensive to custom order bras. And so she ordered these bras, and she was like, Peter, it's like night and day. She's like, I can't even explain to you. She's like, I feel like my breasts have been cut in half. She was like, because the pain is gone. She was like, it's so unbelievable. But then she also kind of like found the trick of like jogging bras. And she would wear jogging bras a lot. She would even wear them when she slept, because she said she felt like she didn't have breasts at all, because like it was just so like, it was like everything was like kind of like padded down. And but you know, she'd say like, if I wear a jogging bra with like a button down collared shirt, and I have, hey, and I have the button down collared shirt opened, you know, so basically all you're seeing is this, like a tank top. She'd say men are looking at my cleavage, and she's like, it's, you know, she said, or women are looking at it and judging it. She's like, why are you looking at me and judging my cleavage? Like, oh my God, like there's something that I can do about it. And so, you know, it's interesting when you think about that this thing that we talk about body image and how it affects us. I mean, it affected her entire life. Her entire life she thought about this, you know? And the other thing is this, is that if she wore anything, you know, like my mom was a teacher for her whole life, and she had this friend of hers that would always buy her these like corny teacher sweaters, even though this friend of hers was very sexy. And she bought her this sweater vest one time, and it had like apples and teddy bears on it and stuff like that. Okay, my mom like was not a kindergarten teacher. And so my mom, she said something to me, and she goes, do you think like this sweater is like indicative of who I am as a person? And I'm like, no. And she would, you know, she always thought that like if she would wear like, let's say a silk blouse with a jacket, and she would unbutton it 2 buttons, because she was big breasted, people would look at her and say, oh, you're trying to be sexy. But anybody else that wore that exact same outfit, she would say they can get away with it because they're smaller breasted. So when they walk into some executive boardroom, they're not trying to entice men or be sexy. I don't know why I'm talking about all this, but she would say, you know, they're not trying to entice people or be sexy. That's just a professional suit. But when I do, as a woman with bigger breasts, she said it's a completely different story, you know. And my mom was very curvy, and so she's like, you know, if I wear a skirt, you know, it's the same thing, you know. Men are like, oh, or even women too, or like, what are you trying to do? Like, so it was this thing that she fought her entire life, was like this body image idea, you know. And in her 50s, she was like, if people want to look at my cleavage, look at my cleavage. I really don't care, you know. All the birds are talkative today. I think it's probably because a lot of the baby birds have been born. Do you think so? I do. All right, well, listen, I'm going to get off here so that I can upload this vlog video. I don't think it'll probably be up in time before I leave, but fingers crossed, let's get it up in time. Well, I'm not going to be home that late tonight, so I will get it up in time for you guys to go to bed and watch it, I hope. If you're watching it some other day, well, hey, how are you? And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. 3 things. You can start your day over whenever you want. Practice random acts of kindness, and most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!